coming to you from Timmerman's Ranch and Saddle Shop, and I'm joined today by Taylor D'Agostino and her mom, Jenny D'Agostino. A lot of people have watched Taylor's story on Facebook at Taylor Strong. I don't know how many of you have been at hashtag Taylor Strong, but I think everybody in the horse industry has been there watching her because she is such an inspiration to all of us. And I wanted today to share what Taylor has gone through for a couple of reasons. First, I want people to understand the struggles of what it takes to ride when you are literally paralyzed from the chest down, because that is where she's paralyzed from. And also I want people to maybe understand the importance of their own posture. I do have notes here because otherwise I could ramble on for 2 hours straight, so that's what I'm holding on to here. But let me first tell you a little bit about how Taylor got hurt, because all of us know that Taylor got hurt riding a horse, and she's still riding horses, and we're going to kind of talk about that and exactly what her story has been all along. So Taylor was here after work one day, because she did work for us, and she still does, because we can't keep her out of here. Even days that she's not supposed to be in the saddle shop working, she's out here working. She's lunging horses for us and stuff all the time. But she decided she wanted to ride a new horse after work one day. And it's a horse that we'd had in for probably a week at that point. A trainer had ridden the horse earlier in the day. The horse was being good. She went out to ride the horse, and our arena's right by the road, and a motorcycle went by. They tend to rev engines and stuff like that, just how motorcycles run. I don't really understand it, but that's not up for debate. But anyways, the horse got spooked, which happens. We've all gotten spooked at one point or another. He took off, started bucking and stuff. Taylor started to lose her seat, ended up kind of bailing off and hitting the ground at the same time, which then caused her to break her back. She is paralyzed. Can you show us where you're paralyzed from? From there down. So nothing works from here on down on Taylor. So it's all a huge struggle. I need to move. And it's definitely a huge struggle for her. But her passion since she started riding here, was she 5 years old when she started riding here, Jenny?
Yeah.
5 years
She
old?
was begging at 4 because we lived right down the street. And she started at 4 years old. We came here, we asked if she could take lessons. Nope, too early.
Yeah, so she started riding here at 5. And her passion was always to make a living in horses. She wanted to train horses, she wanted to give riding lessons. This is all she's ever wanted to do. And she has not stopped fighting for that passion. So she is still determined. She will make a living in horses. She does plan on being able to ride horses like a regular girl someday again, right? That is her plan. But what's really exciting is the fact that her mom, Jenny, totally understands the importance of having a passion, because it does take a passion to ignite a fire. We all truly believe that if Taylor didn't have this passion and her mom didn't keep supporting this passion, we don't think she would have made the progress she's made. They told her she absolutely will never move her legs again. She will absolutely never have control over her core again. And she is now having more movement in her legs. She has now got a lot more control with her core, which is why you guys have seen her loping lately, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit further in a little bit. But she is beating all the odds. And it's because she has not stopped fighting, because she's got a passion and she's got a dream, and that's made a huge difference. I am coming to you from a trainer's point of view today, as someone that, I love Taylor. I've been her instructor since she was 5 years old, and she is like another daughter to me. People always ask if she's my daughter, because she looks more like my chubby face than her mom's little skinny face. But anyway, she's like another daughter to me, and I absolutely love the fact that Jenny's willing to share it with me. But I am going to try and carry it, tell this story from a trainer's point of view, as a riding instructor's point of view, of exactly what you're seeing, so that everybody can kind of understand the mechanics of everything here. So 4 months after Taylor had her injury was the first time she got back on a horse. And everybody's like, oh, do you just get on and ride off? That is not the case at all. There's a lot of things that go along with a spinal cord injury that people don't understand, such as your blood pressure gets all wonky. So for Taylor, that's been a real struggle. When she first was injured, just sitting up for an extended period of time would make her nauseous and lightheaded, because her blood pressure would drop to extreme low levels, and then she'd have to lay down again so that she wouldn't pass out. So if you can imagine just sitting up, how hard that is, getting on a horse again was a huge thing because it does affect your blood pressure. Because now if you look, she's pretty much in a standing position. So she went from laying in a bed for how many weeks was she laying down without sitting up? It seemed like 2 years to Jenny.
Yeah,
but
well, it was almost three.
almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks of not sitting up at all. So then when she did start sitting up, it had to be in small amounts. Now at this point, she has not been in a standing position. She's only been in a sitting position. So now you're affecting the blood pressure completely differently. So she wanted to get back on a horse. She was definitely feeling very defeated, and her mom understood how important it was to light that passion so that she'd keep fighting, because we wanted her to understand that she could absolutely keep going for those dreams no matter what her injury was, because what you think about, you bring about. So her first time getting back on a horse, we did not let her get on May. I'll be perfectly honest. We pulled out the old Steady Eddie that we knew has been through lots of scary things and is always rock solid steady, because the reality is we needed the most controlled environment possible. And May was not the most controlled environment before. She was very sassy. She was very full of life. She tended to be a little unpredictable. But that's what Taylor loved about her. She loved the challenge of her. She never did anything dangerous. She never did anything terrible, but she would, be a little fired up. So she might be going fast, and then she might decide to spook and kind of duck to the side a little bit. We've all been on a horse that does that. Anybody that's ridden horses, you understand that. The most unspookable horse can have that happen occasionally, as we all know. But May tended to do it more often than not. So we did not let her get on May to start with, even though May is the love of her life. And she actually purchased May all by herself when she was 10 years old. She'd saved up all of her money and then got her parents to get on board so that she could actually be able to.
I hid that one from her dad, but we didn't talk about that one too much.
We didn't talk about it too much. We kind of hid it from Dad that she was buying a horse and that there would be a monthly board fee and stuff, but this is all Taylor could ever think about and do. So she did ride Squirt her first time. I think we stayed on literally maybe 5 minutes.
We made it one lap and we sat and talked for a little bit, and I was like, didn't tell you guys for a little while, but I was like, I feel like I'm gonna black out. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to get off now. And you guys heard, I stopped talking and I just sat there. So you guys pulled me off really fast and I was fine. But yeah, I wanted to stay on as long as possible, but it was hard at first.
So yeah, after we discovered that she was hiding from us, that she was getting lightheaded, we learned to start watching because we could see her color start to drain. So then we'd say, okay, it's time to get off, because if it was up to her, she'd always push herself a little too far, which is good because that's why she is where she is. So Taylor, I would like you to talk about how that felt when you got on for the first time and how it affected for somebody like you grew up riding. So as you all know, with those of you that started riding as an adult, you think about everything and you overthink everything that's going on. What if this happens? What if that happens? Am I putting my hand in the right spot or my feet in the right spot? You just overthink things. Whereas kids get on and they just do it. They don't overthink it. It's so much easier for kids to learn to do anything, not just riding horse, any sports, it tends to be easier. So Taylor, coming from someone that had been riding since you were little and never had to think about it, what went through your mind when you first started riding again?
So when I first started riding again, obviously I was super excited. I wanted to get back on as fast as possible. But getting on, I didn't think it was going to be very different at first. I knew I had a lot of big changes in my life, but I didn't think that was going to be super different. That was kind of in the back of my head. So when I got back on, I was like, whoa, this is really different. At first when I started riding again, I was just like, I'm just kind of floating. I didn't feel absolutely anything from my chest down. And I was just kind of okay, I am holding myself up completely with my upper body. My legs weren't doing anything at that point, even though they were. But to me, it felt like I was just holding myself up with my arms and keeping myself upright while everybody walked next to me. So I did a lot of holding on like this. So that's how it kind of started off. And then as I progressed, my legs have gotten a lot stronger. So now, I have a lot more pins and needles tingling through my legs. So I can actually now feel them holding me on a little bit more. I can feel the positioning of my legs and when we need to fix them.
She's become the princess in the pea.
Yeah, it
Tammy,
has
can
to
you
be.
go fix my leg? It feels weird.
It has